Okay, welcome back. And so we're looking at the new, quite frankly, the economic reforms of the Tinubu administration um, and poverty reduction, the strategies that can be brought to bear. Everybody is seeing that we spoke, for some time at the on the other half of the on the other side of the program. We spoke about the fact that all these bold decisions were being taken. They're good for us. They say a doctor has to be wicked to be kind or something like that. So you understand it. It's when the wound is being dressed. It's not the most enjoyable feeling, but you certainly do like it once you're healed. But away from that, palliatives, so-called, something to assist us, to assist the people, is what the people are also going to be needing. That will be government showing that it has a human face, because at the end of the day, we got to get on with our lives. So people will complain that there's no way you do that, there's no way it won't happen. But perhaps the complaints will be reduced because the complaints will be coming from those who don't fully understand it. And a hungry man is an angry man. Now, these palliatives, we have had some of them. There was a time when there was a whole idea of, 8,000 naira per household, that kind of thing. But that, I think, has been shifted, and now there's a different arrangements where money is going direct to the governors for onward deployment. Now, they have to really get their processes down pat, don't they? Because even though it's not business as usual, we can't afford to take our eye off the ball. We can't, because or any of the inefficiencies that crop in, that it might even be mistaken, all of these things are going to be flashpoints. A thing that might be a genuine mistake in these times can become very, very dangerous. So I don't expect that there will be many of those kind of things, but the administration has to keep its eye on that, doesn't it? To be sure that there are mechanisms for monitoring all of these things, monitoring the performance of the cabinet, that it is all working the way it was intended, particularly helping the poorest of the poor. I don't know, there might be a more egalitarian way to put it, but helping those who are really desperately in need.
Well, before I speak to the issue on palliative, I would like to digress a bit, though in the same direction. When the president announced that the subsidy is gone, that famous announcement made by the president, the pronouncement on the May 29 inauguration day.
Yes.
Of course, what comes next is the increment in the pump price of fuel.
Straight.
And we know definitely that everything we do in this country revolves around petrol. And the aftermath of the subsidy removal is the savings that we have been talking about. Government is now saving so much of money.
So you're not spending that.
You're not spending
so
that.
We have that.
Instead of borrowing to cushion the effects of the subsidy removal by paying NNPC to import fuel and the likes, now we are not doing that, and we have saved a lot of money. If you recall, this is unprecedented in the history of the country. For July FAC, June-July FAC that were distributed to states, for June and July, we had well over 900 million naira distributed across board. And I expect that Nigerians should hold our government, both at the federal and at the state, even at the local government level, accountable. We have never had it so good. Now, because of the savings from subsidy removal, the states are getting more money. The local government are getting more money. So I expect Nigerians to focus more, because I can't if I'm aggrieved, I can't say I want to go to Abuja. It will take me so much of money to spend, either to go by road or to go by here to Abuja. If I even get to Abuja, I may not even see the president.
The states, all of them, are certainly getting a lot more money. I think,
yes,
if not double, at least about a third
almost.
More or
so
half more.
I'm saying that we should focus more on our state governors at this moment, across board.
Yeah,
no exception, because they are getting more money, and it's part of the poverty alleviation agenda of this government. More money are being pushed. So some people say, well, maybe the president is giving them as a campaign, whatever. I disagree with that. the campaign is gone, we are now into governance.
Indeed.
Irrespective of whether political party that you belong, every other governor got this money.
Perhaps the administration's attitude is that this is not even a bipartisan thing.
Yes.
Anymore. This is a matter of that.
We must do it together collectively. Yes, Nigeria is a collective project of every one of us, whether tribe, whether religion, whether political affiliation. Is a project that we must come together and ensure that we get it to a logical conclusion. So I was saying that our focus now should be more on the state governors. They are getting more money. And also, we also expect that should also trickle down to local government.
It will.
If I'm aggrieved, if my council chairman is not doing well, I can go to the council and say, Chairman, what's going on? These roads are bad. These drainage are full. They need to be desilted. What is going on? I can't go to Abuja. Okay. I can even go to Alausa if my governor is not doing well. So we need to focus more now on what the governors at every other state are doing with money that are being collected from the federal government, and when in the issue of palliatives. Okay,
let me take Mr. Garuba calling in from Makrodi before I go back to Nosa. Good morning, Mr. Garuba.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. Good morning to your guests in the studio.
Okay.
This is a kind of topical issue that is trending in Nigeria, honestly. You see, I didn't subscribe.
I can't hear you, but it's not your fault. I think they'll...
That's my own candid opinion, Uncle Yori.
Okay.
I wanted to get attention of the federal government and the all 1 million Nigerians. On the issue of palliatives, what they share as a palliative, you will be amazed, Uncle Yori. 1 cup of rice and some pieces of spaghetti with tight oil, giving someone like having children as a palliative. What does that mean? It's an insult to Nigerian citizens. The government has to think and send it. These journalists should go and investigate and find out. This thing happened in natural state here. It's very bad. So I'm urging the government. Whatever issue palliative that they are saying, palliative, it will not work. Create an enabling environment for SME to try. I am a businessman. I'm telling you this, Uncle Yori. I never get it too bad like this. If you can say that I combine my break with Uber, but when I go out, people are angry because the money, the charges they cannot pay. Ask yourself this question. My business is at stake now. I love my job. I have a vulcanizer close to my house. He's doing vulcanizing business. You buy 1 liter of fuel and put in his machine and pop a tire of motor car or bicycle. They are not coming. What the government need to do? To get a way that they can subsidize things that SMEs can use. Don't need to be alternative.
Indeed.
You just need another environment that a common man can go to his farm and work. A common man can go to his work and now it is working. You are getting 100,000. Why you go to market? 100,000 will not work for you. We need an enabling environment, a policy.
Indeed.
That will eliminate the suffering. That make our money to get more valued. And people know what 1 meter of rice, 2 meters of rice is not sustainable. So after the palliative, then what again? Indeed. I don't want you to be listening to people that will come on media and be saying you should meet people on the ground.
All right, then. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Garuba. Appreciate your calling in. No, sir, picking up that point and also leading on to something else, something that I wanted to talk about, this situation that Garuba spoke about there. Look, credit is one thing that our people have never had the benefit of. And I've heard President Tinubu speak about this. I think it was in the campaign days, but even now, there must be a way that it's going to be worked out so that people can actually approach, institutions and get some credit. I know that it's not as if this will be the first time, but the problem is that people don't like paying back. But all of this will go onto that changing of mindset thing that we're talking about. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Yori. The caller made a very valid remark that Nigerians are angry and things are difficult. That is an acceptable fact. The palliatives is supposed to be a temporary measure, not a permanent measure. So we need permanent solutions. So though I'm not even a fan of the palliatives, my preferred option is to find a way to reduce the price so that cost of transportation and other things can begin to come down. Now, and also, in addition to that, we can immediately, in the next 3 to 6 months, embark on a massive reconstruction project. Nearly 90% of the roads in Nigeria are in deplorable condition. In my home state of Edo, you cannot go anywhere outside of Edo State without going through gullies on federal roads. These roads can be privatized immediately. Privatize these roads. Julius Berger has a reputable name, and put people back to work. Not only constructing the road, but also have a contract where the organization, Julius Berger, for instance, can manage the roads and collect tolls. So we don't need to deal with bad roads and things like that. Now, people might say, what does that have to do with economy and what have you? It has a whole lot, because of the deplorable nature of our roads, costs of businesses have increased by more than 30% because the cost of transportation has increased. And when transportation cost increases, it is passed on to the consumer. That's number one. Number two, agricultural reforms. Government can actually engage with our banks, because for this government to succeed, our banks need to be repositioned to nation building. Today, my personal view, I don't work in the bank, but my view is that the bank is not in sync with the mission of this government, and even the previous government, the mission of national development. Because today, the banks in Nigeria know to a large extent those Nigerians who are not of very high means, because of, I guess, the amount of money they have in their account, who can even use the bank, first and foremost, to distribute income based on what individuals have in their account over a 1-year period. That's number one. Number two, the government can set up a soft loan bank, okay, where those who have businesses and are falling on hard times can take a low-interest loan to be repaid over a period of time. But that's where the rubber meets the road, because the average Nigerian does not have this culture of wanting to pay back their loans. So a lot of education and re-education would have to take place to say, look, if we want to move Nigeria forward, if we want your neighbor to benefit as you are benefiting, then it is your responsibility as a citizen to access these loans and also embark on a repayment plan so that the next man behind can also benefit, so that your children can benefit.
Yes.
And then, of course, on the palliative, we talked about ethanol. Ethanol mandate can create as much as 5 million jobs in our country, because the feedstock for ethanol are cassava, corn, and sugarcane. If we adopt that, which means small individuals, mom and dad, can go and farm cassava, they can farm corn, they can farm sugarcane, and this will be bought immediately and sent to the factories that will process them for ethanol. And let me say this here, that Brazil is a major oil producer. Yeah. But they sell all their refined crude oil, both refined and non-refined. They use ethanol to fuel their vehicles 100%. We can do the same, and we can benefit.
And that comes from the massive sugar cane plantations, you know. You remember in Brazil.
And that will put so many people to work, And then thirdly, which is important here, I did mention this, works, power, and security. If we get those three together, we can improve the lives of our people by a million bounds. For instance, now, there is room to create as much as 5 million jobs in the area of security, to where every square inch in Nigeria will be secured. I think that the presidency should work with the minister for national security to ensure that we put this in place. We can deploy 7 youth corps using technologies and database.
I beg your pardon for interrupting you. I just wanted to slip in. First of all, Ada is on the line. Good morning, Ada.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Yori and your guest there. It's Ada calling from Jos Plateau State. I can hear him what he's talking about security. You know, every inch will be secured. Every inch will be secured, and we'll keep having a federal police. Can't we decentralize the police? I don't know what you are running. I feel that if we have a fiscal federalism, that's the way this country will develop. Then Tinubu's bold decision. Yes, they took a bold decision. Yes, I hail him for that, taking that bold step of removing the first company. But then the way it is not properly managed, it will be like digging a new hole to fill an old one. You can see so many companies are closing down. Many people are losing their jobs. Even the palliatives, I don't know who suggested that thing to him. Some people collected on the 20 years. Some people got 2 cups of rice. What kind of
exactly.
is that?
No,
you know,
you're right. That's the point that has been made.
They have used
that
money to fix certain things in each local government. It would have been better.
Indeed.
You know, all the time, let's not give up on Nigeria.
All right, then. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you especially for keeping it as brief as you did. You know, I don't want us to forget the smallest business person in this town, which is the roadside people. Those little places in abroad, in America, I think they call them mom and pop shops. Those are the people. We don't have mom and pop shops, but somebody who is doing her business, or small business. Garba referred to as one such person, of organizer. These are the people that actually prop up the economy, because when things go bad, Ada was speaking about businesses folding up and moving out. Those don't move out. Price will increase, but they are propping up their economy because they are always
have nowhere to go.
Indeed, and so those people perhaps are needing credit more than all the academic bigwigs who know all about business and who have gone to Harvard and gone to universities to study it. People can do a lot with 10,000 naira, for example. I'm not saying that that's anywhere near adequate, but the point is, instead of being totally desperate, abject, this whole matter of credit, I think they need to look into it, because the president is enamored of that idea. Let's start from the very, very beginning, before we even get to the level of not needing to pay cash for a car that I want to buy, which we do now. You know that now you got to find all of the money if you want a car, for example. So that is something that I think is going to be very, very helpful to our people as we wind down on the program.
Well, I did a small research before leaving the house, and I discovered that in the Federal Civil Service, we have about 720,000 workers at the federal government level. And in Lagos State, which has the highest in terms, when you compare to every other state in the country, 36 states, Lagos has at the moment about 213,000 workers. Is thinking about moving into about 250 before the year runs out. Put together the number of civil servants that we have in the country, I'm not sure they are up to 1% of the total population. So we still, just like you said, we need to grow our small and medium-scale enterprises. And that's why I'm so happy when the Minister for Finance, Mr. Wale Edun, when he was reading out the 8-point agenda of this government, he said that they are going to ensure more fundings to the small businesses in the country. So that is the way to go. And on the issue of palliative, let me just quickly say something.
Yeah, quickly say that, because
I have seen in Borno State, I said we have to hold our governors accountable. We have to hold our council chairman.
You're really on our governor's neck.
Yes,
rightly so,
yes.
Because you've spoken about them before.
So they have done in Borno State. People are carrying big bags, 50 bags of rice on their head. So what is going on in every other state? That people are talking about 1 dereka, 2 derekas. People should learn from what is going on in Borno State. And I've also seen our local government chairman in Lagos State. Some of them are also they have also done wonderfully well in this regard.
Indeed.
But the palliative is temporary.
It is.
What we need to solve our major problem is to ensure that the government they keep to their promise and bring back our refinery. They have promised that by December, the one in Port Harcourt will start working. And that's a long-term solution to our problem.
Part of the solution,
yes,
along with the many other things that this government is working on towards bringing him on. No, sir, we've run out of time virtually. But I suppose corruption is not the least of all of the problems here. They're going to have to, really shine their eyes, do whatever it is that they do, because it's not business as usual. And we can't be working and going through and tightening all the belts, and then it's being siphoned into some big bags pockets. So we don't have the time to really talk about it, so we'll probably talk about this some more. But if you'd like to speak briefly about that whole matter of corruption and how we must be single-minded about it.
Yeah, that is very important. Thank you so much. One of the biggest threats to the survival of Nigeria is corruption. And we need to change the mindset. Let me use the president's word. That is why we talk about culture change. We have a culture in Nigeria today that is permissible to corruption. When people are caught looting public resources, a section of the country will say, forgive him, it's the devil that made him do it. No, we must begin to say, No, if you steal public funds, you have committed mass murder. Just imagine if you are a minister for works and transport and resources meant for roads end up in your pocket, and we have 10,000 people dying on our roads.
Yes.
You are responsible for that.
So that culture of impunity
accountable
has to end.
Impunity must change.
Well,
it must change. And Nigerians, if I might just say quickly, governance, the biggest impact to our people is the activities at the state and local levels. Therefore, the presidency should set up a project performance monitoring team to ensure that money being given as palliatives are monitored in terms of how they are being spent and those who are getting it. So that if it doesn't get there, then subsequent funds should not be given to those states.
Indeed.
Federal government can then take over the ownership of the process to deliver this to our people. But our people are hurting. And this president wants to serve the people. And we must help the president achieve that objective.
We're going to have to leave it there. And I believe that I heard that they're setting up some sort of a review, a peer review sort of mechanism locally so that these things will be monitored. And thank you very much, Nosa Osaiku, Certified Project Manager, reaching us from Texas there, Nigerian Human Rights Community. Thank you very much, Nosa. Okay, and our appreciation to you as well, Taiwo Olapade, broadcast journalist and public affairs analyst. Indeed, thank you very much for your insight.
Thank you so much for having
Okay, so that's our program today. Please join us tomorrow when we'll have something else that we're talking about. I'm Yori Falarin. Bye-bye for now.